Hey guys, back for another update today. Today we're going to talk about what's up with the area behind my fence. You might have noticed that I don't really show much of my lawn care work back there, and there's a reason for that. This year I decided that I was going to do an experiment to kind of leave that back area behind my fence, mainly with just minimal maintenance this year, to see if there's a big difference between the area inside my fence and the area outside the fence. Now both of these areas are the same type of grass, Kentucky Bluegrass. I actually just dug up my old bag of seed that was used on this yard to find out which varieties I have, which I can also put down in the description if you're interested. But this area back there behind the fence is one that I don't have enough stuff to usually water and move all my sprinklers around, and so this year it kind of just made sense to say let's just leave it alone, see what happens back there if I just kind of do minimal work. So here's what I did. I did Milorganite application in the spring. As you saw in my one video when I was dealing with the grubs, I also had some problems back there, not quite as bad as inside of my fence, but I also did put down the grub killer back in that fence area. And then lastly, I just put down an application of Milorganite right after the Labor Day holiday, somewhere right in there. So it's gotten 2 things of fertilizer this year and the grub treatment. No water whatsoever other than the rain that we've gotten. So today I thought I'd show you just kind of what's going on back there, and we take a look at maybe the difference between the inside fence area and the outside fence area. So at first glance, you really can't notice a huge difference. As we start to look closer, you'll just see that the overall thickness of the lawn is not quite the same. And it's still showing a little bit less color than the other lawn is. So I'll get you a couple more angles, but let's look closer. Back down in here, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, we also have a lot more of this kind of dead looking stuff that's mixed in. I believe it's still just some of the kind of dormant grass left over that happened when this kind of went to a drier state during the summer. I don't seem to have as much of that in the backyard fence area, so that's one difference. So from a broad view, you can kind of see all that deader stuff mixed in there, and that kind of gives it an overall look of not quite as nice as the inside fence. The other thing that's bothered me, I've had some tall fescue start to crop back up in here. Now I believe that's either from what was there previously before I killed off this yard and somehow it's just come back, or there was one time when this lawn got overseeded, not inside of the fence but the outside areas in my front yard, my side yard, with tall fescue by a lawn company, and I was not aware of that. So it happened and I started to see tall fescue all over the place. Let's get a view from a better angle, not looking into the sun. Have some creeping Charlie that's coming up from over there, which I'm going to take care of here soon. So here you'll see the overall view. It still looks really nice. See a little bit of that lighter colored stuff mixed in here down by my shadow of my head if you look closely there. Now let's go inside the fence and show you the difference. Overall inside the fence, let's take a closer look at down in here. You'll just see much less of that dead look in there. I did a lot more aerating as well out in this area. And I just did one pass on the backyard, so that's also one big difference. This really got aerated heavily. Okay guys, so that's a little update. I know there's not a whole lot of action in this video, but I wanted to do a little bit of explaining as to why I did what I did behind that area. So the moral here is, with Kentucky Bluegrass especially, it depends on the types that you have, but a lot of people can get away with not doing a whole lot of maintenance on it, and it can survive dormancy. It can do all of those things and come back in the fall and then subsequently in the spring and look really nice. So I'm not sure how much that's going to show up on video. If you were here in person, you can definitely tell the backyard inside the fence It has a better look to it. It doesn't have as much of that dead stuff kind of mixed in, and overall it just has a better appearance. But it's not so drastic that the backyard behind the fence really looks terrible by any means, because it doesn't. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.